Remastering classic games is a big trend these days. It makes perfect sense. Rejuvenating classics that gamers had growing up or have never even had the opportunity to play is a great way to celebrate the video game industry. From a publisher's standpoint, it's also one hell of a way to make a profit off of old properties that once upon a time were successful hits. So today we're looking at one publisher and developer who are known for their library of classic games, with our list of the top 10 video games Sega needs to remaster. And at number 10, Shenmue 1 and 2. Ever since the announcement of a new Shenmue game, the internet has been buzzing with talks of Sega remastering the first two, which actually it is, but more on that in a second. In the game, you play as a martial artist in 1980s Yokosuka, Japan, who was seeking revenge for the murder of his father. It was one of the first open-world video games, and incorporated a lot of realism into its world, which attracted a cult following. In April of this year, Sega announced that it would be releasing high-definition ports of the first two games for Windows, PS4, and Xbox One, but that's left one branch of fans rather disappointed: those who own a Nintendo Switch, which has led to some backlash online. Here's hoping that Sega might listen to their fanbase. And at number 9, Medieval 2 Total War. Sega's partnership with developer Creative Assembly for the Total War franchise is one of their longest-running successful relationships. Fans of the series have been treated to several Total War games in the past few years, including the likes of Warhammer and Warhammer 2. But there's a pretty big demand online for older games in the series to be remastered, with many people enjoying the simpler gameplay mechanics of the earlier titles, especially for Medieval 2 Total War. Released in 2006, it consists of medieval warfare, religion, and politics in Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. There's hope yet for a remastered version though. Back in 2016, a revamp was released for OS X and Linux. Up next at 8, Knights. Knights was never really a franchise that had the following as some of Sega's other classics, but it still has a loyal fanbase. Crafted by Sonic Team, which may or may not be a bad thing depending on how you feel about the developers, this series was always known for being imaginative and fun. These days, many of its fans feel it's a franchise that could really use a revamp. It has potential to be quite interesting. The plot of the game follows two teenagers who end up in Knightopia and must fight through a series of nightmares in order to progress. And at 7, Mega Bomberman 94. One of the most beloved titles in the Bomberman franchise, Mega Bomberman, also known as Bomberman 94, was a single and multiplayer game, where you play as Bomberman trying to reassemble Bomber Planet after it was split into 5 pieces. This happened after the invasion of the evil Bagular and his robot army. The 5 spirits who protected the planet have their power sources destroyed, and you must reassemble them. The game was re-released in 2011 for the PS3 and the PlayStation Portable, and a brand new Bomberman title was released in 2017, called Super Bomberman R, but it received pretty mixed reviews. This led to some fans wanting a newer version of Bomberman 94, or even one of the older, more popular Bomberman titles. And at 6, Sonic Adventure. Released in 1998, Sonic Adventure was one of the first Sonic 3D games. By 2006, the game had sold over 2 million copies, and followed the story of Sonic and his pals trying to stop Robotnik from unleashing an ancient evil known as Chaos. It also was the introduction of Big the Cat and his pointless fishing minigame. There was a revamped version released for the GameCube, PC, Xbox 360, and PS3, but it was not well received at all. Critics felt the game had not aged well, and ran at an inconsistent frame rate. Damn it, Sega! Stop half-assing. Here's hoping that one day Sega will revisit it again, but maybe do it right this time. Up next at 5, Altered Beast. This 1988 beat-em-up arcade game follows a centurion in ancient Greece, who is resurrected by Zeus in order to save his daughter Athena. Sounds pretty cool, right? In addition to this, you could collect orbs that would transform you into various beasts, including a werewolf, a thunder were-dragon, a were-tiger, a were-bear, and a golden werewolf who was super powerful. Each transformation had its benefits and gave you special abilities. The arcade game was praised by critics, but the home port for Sega Genesis was pretty much panned. Now, a remastered version seems fairly unlikely because of that last point, but considering the success other games wrapped in ancient mythology have had recently, taking a shot at revamping the Altered Beast franchise could be pretty promising for Sega, if they gave it a decent shot, that is. Up next at 4, Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia was a 2000 RPG for the Dreamcast that was later released on the GameCube in 2003. You play as a young air pirate, trying to stop an empire from reviving ancient weapons that have enough power to destroy the world. Oh, and you also get to fly around in an airship, which is pretty cool. The game heavily focuses on exploration too. Critics called it one of the best games visually for the Dreamcast at the time, and praised it for how detailed it was, considering how large of a world the game had to offer. While there's been no announcement or acknowledgement from Sega about the game being remastered, fans have been wondering why the company has been sitting on a story world so full of fantastic material. Good question. Up next at 3, 3D Power Drift. Back in 2015, a remastered version of Power Drift made its way onto the market for the Nintendo 3DS. Great, but kinda limiting for the rest of us who prefer other consoles. The game was one of Sega's earlier arcade classics, crafted under Yu Suzuki, who was also responsible for the likes of Outrun and Afterburner 2. This remastered version introduced a new difficulty level, Easiest, for all of you who have a tough time in the racing genre. There was also the option of choosing between automatic and manual controls, along with some other aesthetic deviations. Currently, there's a mod kicking around the interwebs that lets you play the game for PC, but it's just not really the same. Up next, number 2, Sonic Generations. Considering Sega's track record with Sonic 3D games, hell, they should remaster every single underdeveloped bug-ridden Sonic game that came out after 2000 and actually finish them. But realistically, that won't happen. Sonic Generations is still a pretty solid contender though. It has been hailed as the best Sonic 3D game by many a critic, and its popularity even to this date proves that fans would be inclined to buy it. We'd hope that if it was remastered, we'd see extra levels and multiple playable characters. In the meantime, there's been rumors kicking around of Sonic Heroes being remastered, so perhaps if that's true, that'll hold you over for your Sonic 3D craving. But maybe don't be hopeful. And last but not least, in at number 1, Sonic 3. So there's a handful of petitions online to see Sonic 3 remastered. One even boasts that 2 members of the fan community have remastered the game themselves, and were pushing to get Sega's attention so that they would publish it. Bit of a long shot, but hey, A for effort. The likelihood of a remastered Sonic 3 is a bit fickle. After the release of Sonic Mania, it seems unlikely that the game would get the remastered treatment anytime soon. That being said, just a quick Google trip down the internet rabbit hole and you'll find that there's a slew of fan-made versions of the game that have not only remastered it, but added their own unique touches to the game to make it more immersive. So why wait for Sega to release a new version when you can just go online and get one for a tiny percentage of the cost? And in some cases, it's even free. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these games do you wish Sega would remaster? Let us know in those comments below. If you dug this video, show us some love. Hit that like button. And hey, maybe subscribe and hang out with us some more. We got a ton of other great gaming videos and Sonic and Sega themed videos all in a playlist that's currently flashing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you all in the next one.